Hello everyone, Wicked Witch of LA here, and welcome back to my channel. So, my hair is doing something today. It has a mind of its own, and we're just gonna let that happen. So, today this video is gonna be the next part of the series for working with the days of the week and the days of the week's magical correspondences, which ties into planetary magic. So, the last video, which was the first video, hair in my mouth. The first video in the series was working with Mondays, which is ruled by the moon. So today we're going to talk about the next day in the week, which is going to be Tuesdays. I hope you know your days of the week because it's very important to know what day it is. So we're going to be working on Tuesdays, and it's going to be about Mars. So Tuesday is ruled by Mars. For those of you that may or may not know, Mars is the Roman god of war. So that's where that name comes from. But Mars does have an extensive history in many other cultures. One of them actually was ancient Egypt, and ancient Egypt was actually one of the first ancient cultures to ever chart Mars in the sky. So there are actually some tombs in Egypt where the ceilings are, there's star charts in the ceilings, and Mars was a very common one to chart because it's actually it's the brightest planet in our sky. So, a little history on Mars right there. It's actually the second most studied planet in our solar system too. Little tidbit, I used to study astronomy. So, what does Mars do? So we're going to talk about today a couple of the correspondences that Mars has when it comes to herbs, crystals, and all that jazz. And we're also going to be talking about its virtues, its magical virtues, and how you can use those to enhance your spell work. Now, like I said in the first video, you don't have to do your spells on certain days of the week if you don't want to. They will work just fine on any day, any moon phase, doesn't matter. But there are times when your spells need that extra power. They need that extra strength, especially in certain situations where you really, really need that boost in power, that boost in energy. So some of the spells that you can do on Tuesdays are going to regard some of these things. So some of the virtues that Mars has. Mars is excellent for casting spells regarding war. Roman god of war, Mars. So what does that mean? This will help you a lot in any battles that you're having throughout your life. If you are going through a battle in court, whether it's you're arguing a parking ticket, something a little bit more serious, or you're fighting a lot, arguing a lot with someone that you know, you can definitely use spells on Tuesdays to help ensure your victory against regarding war, battles, struggles. So you can use Tuesdays to enhance your chances in that. And it could be in general, whether it's trying to bring something down or to raise something up. It doesn't matter what the struggle is, what it is that you're trying to achieve, as long as it regards that battle, that struggle, you can use Tuesdays to enhance your spell work in that. You can also use Mars to increase your personal strength, courage, and passion. And of course, you can also use this to target someone else. So if you're someone that needs more strength for a situation, you need a little bit more courage, a little bit more passion in your life, 100%, you can use Mars for just that. You can use Tuesdays to do spells in regards to those things. Something simple you can do, you can just take yourself a red candle and just burn it on a Tuesday. That's it. Simple. I did talk about simples and what they are. They're just basically spells that involve one ingredient. And I'll put a link down below for that video that I did a while ago. But that's all you need. Just on a Tuesday, you can scratch in the word strength, courage, whatever, put your name on it or your target's name, and just let that burn on a Tuesday. And believe me, you will see results. You're going to feel stronger, you're going to feel more courageous, and you'll feel more passionate. Other things that you can use Mars for Tuesdays is, and I'm reading off my notes, they're right there, so I'm doing a lot of, I feel like a chameleon, just like everything's everywhere. So you can use Tuesdays for spells in regards to overthrowing your enemies. So Mars is a very intense planet. It's a very aggressive energy. Tuesdays are very aggressive. That's the energy that comes from Mars. So there are a lot of darker, more aggressive attributes to Mars. And you can definitely use those to your advantage to get, to meet the goals, the intentions that you want to get. That doesn't mean harming people, and that doesn't mean baneful work. Okay, so I know there are some of you out there that don't practice baneful magic or dark magic. That's okay. You can use these in other ways, especially when it comes to protecting yourself. So overthrowing your enemies, what does that mean? If there is someone that's gossiping about you, if there's someone, again, like in court, for example, if you got into a car accident and the other people are trying to cheat their way so they can get the upper hand and whatever. If you have a partner, a friend, or just someone that you know that's really coming for you, they're really gutting for you. Maybe somebody in the workplace is really, really talking trash about you behind your back, or they're trying to do whatever they can to get the upper hand on you. You can use spells on Tuesdays to overthrow those people. That doesn't mean hurting them. It simply means that you're gonna one-up them. And the opportunity will come, a promotion, maybe the court is gonna turn to your side. Maybe you will, in your job, you'll be the one to get the promotion. So that's kind of what it means by overthrowing. Now, can you use it in a more baneful way? Of course you can. If there is somebody in your life that you're really struggling against, and that you've been battling this person, and you've used up all your other options, and you're like, okay, at this point I need to use baneful magic, you can definitely do spells on Tuesdays to conjure that. Again, Mars is about battles, it's about struggles. Now, other things that you can do under Tuesdays is you can use it to cause ruin, slaughter, cruelty, discord, to wound, and to give death. Again, think of war. These are all things that are seen in war. Now, when it comes to giving death, that doesn't have to be baneful, evil, or bad. Maybe you need to bring death to something in yourself. Death is something as witches that we need to embrace. Life cannot continue unless death happens. Maybe you need to bring death to a bad habit. Maybe you have a really bad habit that you're having, you're struggling to get rid of. Maybe there's an addiction that you need to get rid of, or maybe for someone else. You can use Tuesdays to bring death to that addiction, to bring death to a bad habit. You can use it to bring death to a toxic relationship. Maybe someone that's in a very toxic relationship with either a friend or a partner. You can use Tuesdays to end that relationship. And usually when you do spells this way, it won't really bring harm to anyone. Really, you're targeting a specific strain. So you can definitely use that to help someone for the greater good. It doesn't have to be bad. Now, again, war. So Tuesdays encompasses a warrior spirit. So again, that ties back to courage and to strength and passion. If you feel like you do need that in your life a bit, if you feel like, this helps a lot for like career-wise also. If your career is, you love your job, but you're having trouble rising to the top, you're having trouble being noticed by your supervisors, you can definitely use Tuesdays to help with that. Now, a couple other correspondences that you can use Tuesdays for are for spirit communication, contacting the dead, and any related topic. So it's really good for spirit communication. If you're someone who, let's say you use pendulums to contact the dead, you use spirit boards or things like that, or scrying, and you're trying to conjure a spirit, you can definitely use those mediums on Tuesdays to help establish a better connection and have greater communication. And again, spirits of the dead. So you can definitely work on Tuesdays to work with your ancestors. Ancestors are spirits of the dead. So 100% you can use those days to work with your ancestors a little bit better. Now, a couple other correspondences that have with Mars, and these are kind of like the more, not basic, but tools that you can use. So Mars corresponds to the color red. So that's why I said using a red candle earlier. Any spell that you're going to use on Tuesdays that corresponds with all the things that I'm giving you here, you can definitely use a red candle to enhance that. Again, this corresponds to Mars and Tuesdays. It's also related to the element of fire, encompasses masculine energy, and is also associated with iron, the metal of iron. So you can definitely use these things to enhance your spell work on Tuesdays. So you can have yourself a red candle, and if you have anything in your home that's made of iron, or you can just go to your local hardware store and find something small that's made of iron and have it present, that's going to help enhance your spell work a lot, or your rituals. Now, my favorite part is plants. Now, these are a couple plants and herbs that you can use to enhance your spell work for Mars, for Tuesdays. These are just a few out of the infinite amount of plants. And These are some of the plants that are more well known to be ruled under Mars, or to be linked to Mars. There's so many other plants and herbs out there, and there's a lot of plants and herbs that we don't even know what they're linked to. So these are some of the ones that are more well known and maybe easier for you folks to come in contact with. So some of those are allspice, basil, cacti, chili peppers, cumin, dragon's blood, like the resin, garlic, ginger, peppermint, and tobacco. You can also use wormwood and yucca. So these are all things that you can use to enhance spell work on Tuesdays. And each of these plants have their own magical correspondences. So feel free to look into those and mix and match things that correlate most to whatever spell that you're trying to do on Tuesdays. Now, these can also be used as offerings. So if you're trying to do an offering to Mars, if you're trying to just you're just trying to like, just the basic encompassing of the energies of Tuesdays, you can just have these out and burn them as offerings. And again, you can implement these in your spells and rituals, whether it's to gain something or to destroy something. Some of the stones that are attributed to Tuesdays are rubies, agates, ambers, labradorites, I probably said that wrong, and malachite, just to name a few. There's a million more out there. And you can use all of these things, the colors, the plants, the stones, the metals. You can use all of that to enhance your Tuesday spell work. So what are some spells that you can do? I'm going to give you like one or two spells and really small ones that you can use to help with this. If you are trying to obtain strength and courage, grab yourself a red candle, and it doesn't have to be a 7-day candle. This could be like those 6-inch taper candles. It could be like a simple little tea light. But go ahead and grab a red one. If you're trying to get some strength and courage, just you can use dragon's blood, you can use chili pepper, garlic, or basil to do that. Now, you can also use red candles and Tuesdays for protection spells as well. And you can actually use a cacti for that. And I'll think about a cactus. They have spines. The spines protect them. So you can take a cacti and just have it present with your red candle. Or if you take off the little spines off a cacti, or a cactus, grammar, you can place it around a red candle and inscribe your name or the name of whoever you want protection from, or you can just put like my home, and just lay a couple of those spines around. You can even put protective herbs like basil and peppermint, which also has some protective properties. And just let that burn down. Really good protection spell right there. If you are trying to, let's say, bring death to a bad habit or an addiction, take a red candle, write the name of the target, and write whatever that addiction is. Whether it's an addiction to smoking, alcohol, if it's a bad habit of getting angry too easily, if it's the bad habit of, let's say, procrastination, just write down whatever that bad habit is, and you're going to take your cacti needles and you're going to stick them into the candle. I like to work with numbers sometimes, so I like to work in 3, so like 3, 6, and 9, but you can use whatever you want. Stick a couple of those into your candle. If you don't have these, you can just use pins, like regular little pins. And then chili pepper powder. You can just do a little chili powder on top and let that burn down. And just verbally aloud say that this habit, this addiction, yada, 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 is breaking and is broken by the power of Tuesday, by the power of Mars. Use your words to invoke those energies. And again, this works the same for if you're trying to overthrow someone, if you're trying to humble a person, if there's someone that has really been trying you and they're really trying you, write their name on the red candle, and you get chili, and I love chili powder. You can use chili powder for so many things. You can get a little bit of chili powder, a little bit of garlic, and a little bit of wormwood. Sprinkle it on your candle. Again, get those cacti needles, get those pins, stick a few into your candle, and let that burn down. And you can say, let's say this person's name is Johnny Waters. I don't know, Johnny Waters. Okay, Johnny Waters, I overthrow you by the powers of Mars. You will no longer have the upper hand on me. I silence your mouth. Again, whatever it is that you want to wish upon them, that's on you. With baneful magic, and I will make a video eventually on how to do baneful work. You want to be careful with baneful magic. It's not for everyone. And you can do baneful magic without bringing physical harm to someone. That is very possible. But you want to make sure that things are justified. You know, if someone one time said something bad to you or did something to you, again, depending on the severity, that doesn't give you a leeway to just go and, you know, spiritually want to wreck them. You know, give it a chance. Give it a second. For me, it's like 3 strikes. Okay, 1 strike, it's forgiven. 2 strikes, I'm going to keep tabs on you. 3 strikes, okay, we're done. I'm going to take measures into my own hands. 100%. And, you know, keep in mind that if some of you work with gods, goddesses, or other spirits, if they frown upon baneful magic, then just don't do it. You can call me to do it for you. But yeah, if you're not comfortable with baneful magic, just know that you can do this, you know, to overthrow someone without bringing harm to them. You can use it as a separation, you know, to separate someone. The aggressive energies of Tuesdays of Mars are really good for separating and bringing distance between people. So again, if there's a coworker, a schoolmate, or someone that you just want distance from, you can just write their name on the red candle and just let it burn. Sometimes what I've done for like distancing and, you know, trying to keep someone away is you take 2 candles, and if you don't have red candles, white is a pretty good substitute. When it comes to days of the week and planetary magic, I try not to substitute if I don't have to. But if you don't have a red candle, you can use a white candle. And what I've done before is you can just take some red food coloring. It's super cheap. You can get this at dollar stores. Just get some red food coloring and just kind of like rub it in. And that's it. It'll be your red candle. But yeah, you take your 2 candles, write your name, write the name of the person that you're trying to separate from. Let's pretend this is a candle. So I have my name, person in the, Johnny Waters, that I want to get rid of. You know, I don't want them near me. And let them burn. And these work really well with 70 candles. And every day, put them farther apart. So you start this on a Tuesday. Farther, 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 farther apart. Every day, bring it farther apart until the candles are completely burnt down. And with the remains, just bury them somewhere. Bury them, throw them away, do whatever you want. It doesn't really matter at that point. But that's like one of the things that you can do if you want to separate someone from your life, or you want to keep someone at distance, like a toxic person, negative coworker, and things like that. And again, there are a million things that you can do on Tuesdays to aid yourself in whatever your goals are. It's up to you with what you want to do them. And I think I mentioned this in my first video, and if I didn't, here it is now. Always be respectful with the spirits. Be very respectful with, especially planetary spirits. They are very strong. And they do give us their energy so we can use them for, you know, for our goals, for whatever it is that we're trying to do. So just make sure that when you're doing these spells, be respectful. You know, ask for those energies. You can leave an offering of incense, whatever you want to do, but be respectful. You know, acknowledge that you're using the energies of that day, of that planet. You know, acknowledge them, respect them, and thank them for giving you their energy. Because when you do these spells on the days of the week, you want to call upon them. You know, I call upon the energies of Mars. You know, so you're calling upon it, they're giving it to you. So always make sure that we're being respectful, and grateful and thankful for these energies and for giving them, for them giving those energies to you so you can use it. Okay. All right, folks, that's pretty much all I have for you today on Mars. Again, there are so many things out there. There's like a million things. These are just a few little basic things that you can do. And again, whether it's positive or negative, do what thou wilt. The magic is there. Do whatever you want with them. Just be wise. And again, try to always strive for the greater good. Okay, beautiful witches. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, feel free to follow me on Instagram at Wicked Witch of LA. I'll leave that down below as well. Yeah, I post almost daily now. So for more witchy tips and just random witchy blah, 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 feel free to follow me there, okay? All right, witches, blessed be. Please be safe out there. I love you all. Mwah, and take care of yourselves, okay? Bye-bye.